Welcome, everyone. This is Joe Dager, the host of the Business 901 podcast. With me today is Cindy Barnes. Cindy is a business innovator, strategist, speaker, and notwithstanding, the founder of her UK-based company, Future Curve. She is also the author of Crafting and Delivering Your Value Proposition, which was, I kind of think, one of the original works and still a best-selling book on the subject of value propositions. I'd like to welcome you, Cindy. How is it over in the UK there?
Thank you very much, Joe, and it's a real pleasure to be on your program. So I'm really delighted to be here.
Well, I always kind of looked at the statement. Okay, now that you bring that up, I always kind of looked at the value proposition as something more overall.
Absolutely.
Okay, and do it, and then we could have basic value statements underneath, which really, I mean, for lack of a better way, could be the thing that I lead with a cold call. It could be a heading in an email. It's a statement that I'm directly relating to this situation I'm in. Is that fair to say it that way?
Absolutely. So when we work with companies and we help them develop their value propositions, we have what we call a blueprint, which is, it goes into like the market area, and it goes into the customer experience area, and it goes into the offerings area, and it goes into various other areas. From that, we will pull out sales propositions. We call them sales propositions. So I think what many people call a value proposition, we would call a sales proposition.
Should I have multiple value propositions? I mean, one for each product, service?
I would have one if you can, depending on the size of the company. I'd have one per company. If you've got multiple divisions and multiple markets, I'd have one per market. You can then distill the different sales messages, sales propositions for different products and different sales opportunities. But the overarching value proposition design, you want to try and keep as high level as possible. Because what we see time and time again is that we see sales teams out there in the marketplace with with very little guidance, creating sales propositions almost in a vacuum, because there's no guidance coming from sort of further up, further in the organization. So absolutely, this is a strategic design for how to bring together the market, your customer experience, and your capabilities and offerings, and develop a blueprint for you that gives you the confidence that actually you can really stand in this and you really know what you're doing, who you're going after, what they're looking for. Then you can distill it into different sales propositions for different attributes of different products or different markets or different opportunities, different sales opportunities.
It about seems like you're nudging on to that vision, okay, creating a vision, but value proposition is really more rooted in what you're doing. Is it, or is it sort of a vision thing?
It's much more rooted in what you're doing and how you're doing it, how you're delivering it as well. Because it's, how you're delivering it is absolutely critical. And the total customer experience is absolutely critical. I'll give you an example. If you have to go and have an MRI scan in a hospital, if you look at the work that some of the current companies are doing, like Philips and like Siemens, they are redesigning the whole of that experience. So it's a much more customer-led experience. And so you go into the you used to go in for a scan, a CT scan or an MRI scan, and you'd have to navigate various different changing rooms, and then you'd go in and there would be lots of clutter everywhere and lots of files everywhere, and it would be quite a stressful experience, because having something like that done is quite a stressful experience. And you'd go through all the admin stages, and then you'd go into various rooms where there were storage cupboards everywhere and this scanner in the middle, and you'd be plonked in the middle of this scanner and then left there while the radiologists go and do what they do, in some remote room from you. The whole experience is quite terrifying, absolutely quite terrifying, quite scary, but particularly for children. What has been done recently is they've looked at that as a whole experience, as the whole customer experience, and said, how can we change the perspective? And a lot of this is about changing perspective from what we do as an organization to how is the customer going to receive this? How is the customer going to experience this? Now, people talk about customer experience the whole time, but it's really an exercise in empathy. It's an exercise in understanding things from somebody else's point of view, but really seeing it through their eyes, really understanding it and feeling it through, through how they would feel it. And if you go into, certainly in the UK, if you go in for an MRI scan or a CT scan these days, it's a streamlined process and it's a clean process. And you have all the admin is done way before, so you're not stressed out. You go into these nice sort of, often lit with different color walkways. You go in, there's no clutter, there's no nothing. You have a nice changing room with nice, wooden floors, and it doesn't scare you. It's a very nice soft music playing, and you go into sort of wonderful room that's sort of lit, and you can have all different animations on the wall, or you can have films playing, and you can have music playing. The whole experience is like going to a spa, as opposed to going for this very frightening medical procedure. Now, the value proposition that the likes of Philips have put round their sort of medical devices division is very much one of understanding the customer experience and making that a stress-free and positive emotion experience, as opposed to, it was just a machine. It's just a machine that scans you and gives you a result. So, that's a way of thinking about how the value proposition has changed, and how the customer experience and really embodying that customer experience is absolutely key.
Okay, tell me a little bit about Future Curve and what areas do they cover?
Well, we focus on customer centric, helping companies often move from a product centric organization to a customer-centric organization. That's the big thing that we do. And in the process of that, one of the ways of doing that is help companies with the design of their value proposition, the design and implementation of their value proposition, because it's a good vehicle for helping companies move to being much more customer-centric. We do a massive amount of research. We've got social scientist researchers, psychology researchers, and anthropologist researchers. So to really understand customers from their perspectives, which is absolutely key. And we work globally. We work all over the world. We've been have a fantastic partnership with the Irish government. We've been working with them since 2009, taking startup and smaller businesses through this process and helping them grow their exports, helping them grow in export markets, which is why Ireland it's a small country, but it still has the highest export growth of any EU country. So we're very proud of that association with the Irish government. But we work with companies of all sizes, all sectors.
Well, I would like to encourage everyone. I still use crafting and delivering your value proposition on a regular basis in my work. I still think it's a great book. I think I gave it away, okay, and it's on my Kindle now because I wasn't going to buy the hard copy again, okay? That way I can carry it with me. So
I'll send you one, Joe.
No. What's the best way for someone to contact you and learn more?
Please email me. Email is Cindy Barnes, all one word, CINDYBARNES @futurecurve.com, FutureCurve as it sounds, or via Twitter or via LinkedIn. I was going to say LinkedIn. I'm increasingly not a big fan of LinkedIn, I have to say. Twitter's good. Email's good.
Well, I would like to thank you very much. This podcast will be available on the Business 901 iTunes Store and the Business 901 blog site. So thanks, everyone, for listening.
Thank you so much, Joe, for the invitation, and it's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope it's been useful to your listeners as well.